POV. You just finished to read about the Battle of Philippi, 42 BC. What the hell was that? Antigonus II Mattathias, Hyrcanus II, the Parthian and Pompeian soldiers. Can't say I blame the guy for killing as many people as he did. I mean, I too would want to kill everyone if my nose was that big. Balkan Wars happen, Muslim minorities. We're all gonna die. Mao passes on mangoes he didn't want. Chinese people, Your Majesty the Queen, where is the king? Oh, Pharaoh? He's off in the river spreading seeds. He has a papyrus drawing of me for inspiration. The Confederacy lost a war to the Union. The Confederates stupidly started a war they couldn't win. Lost causers. Got a problem with your wife? No worries, just cut them out of your life. We formed our own empire. We want a decent navy. You took my naval dominance. Now my empire's gonna fall. Henry VII, when dealing with Lambert Simnel. Oh dear, oh dear. Gorgeous. Henry VII when dealing with Perkin Warbeck. You fucking donkey. Unlike you, I get my history from a reliable source. Did World War II end with a rap battle? When everyone else in your Kampfgruppe is hyped up on amphetamines, but you have ADHD, so you are just mellow with clear thoughts for once. Witches, European peasants in medieval Europe, cast it into the fire, destroy it. Church, yes. The happiest, proudest, most important. A lazy, dictatorial, unctuous opportunist. Zambian President Kenneth Kaunda in 1980. Be like United States. No, we will not sell you Zambia weapons. Haha, Soviet fighter jets go boom. 19th century Brazil sounding like an extension of Europe on the tropics. European powers. The leader of a 1835 slave revolt being sentenced to 1,200 lashes. Rana Valona. When she tried to protect Madagascar's traditions and independence from the West, I will kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die. Plants. Surround your seeds in fruit so animals help with seed dispersal. Humans genetically modify the fruit so it is much tastier and attractive to animals. Humans make the fruit seedless. Humans make the fruit seedless. Rice farmers be colonized and enslaved for a century. Leader of the free world. I sleep. Rice farmers rise up and overthrow their colonizers. Leader of the free world. Real shit. Examiner. You think the US can be legally turned into a dictatorship? Kurt Gödel. Yes, and I can prove it. Alfred the Great. William the Conqueror. Pepin the Short. King of Hawaii meeting President Arthur in 1881. It's like looking in a mirror. No, it isn't Kalakaua. Bismarck. I am the most advanced battleship ever built. I have 8 15-inch guns and turtleback armor. Meanwhile, HMS Warspite in 1913. Oh, fucking really, sunshine. Teacher. You cannot hear pictures. Me. The oldest son of the last king becomes king. Primogeniture. A new king is elected from the royal family by the nobles. Most early Germanic kingdoms. Split the kingdom so that every one of the king's sons gets a piece of. The Frankish kingdom. Literally every direct male line descendant of Harold Fairhair who wants to is king. They can just have a civil war to figure out any disagreements later. No worries. Norway, after the Viking Age. Anglo-Saxon kings naming their sons. Noble rock. Countries throughout history. Moderately successful farmers. Why is everything going wrong? What are the superpowers' views on space travel? The US says it should only be attempted when the conditions are suitable and should only be attempted in the name of science. USSR says, if it one-ups the Americans, it's worth it. Napoleon III. Thank you for electing me as your president. We hope you won't turn France into a monarchy. Napoleon III. What are you doing in Mexico? Date Masamune's mission to the Vatican. Mind your own business. Russian soldier thinking he's safe behind cover. Some Finnish guy 450M away with a dinky, scopeless bolt action. The greatest motorsport combo in the 2000s. Ferrari. Michael Schumacher. USA. Soviet Union. Country unsure if it's capitalist or communist. You promised not to tell. Hitler promised not to invade Czechoslovakia, Jeremy. Welcome to the real world. British General Howe. Lost his precious dog. American soldiers. Wants to keep the pet to taunt them tea lovers. American General Washington. No. England legislatures in 1872. Let's make it illegal to get drunk in a pub. Your average English Joe if they get disturbed with their beer in a pub. Rescuers. At best, we can only save 2 people. John Stark proceeds to save the 9 other people from deep snow. Today, I can sleep past 8 p.m. Motherfuckers in England when the church bells rung in 8 p.m. How the Romans saw the Celts. How the Celts saw themselves. France. The world. Language. Magician. Guesses your card correctly. people in the 1200s. So, let us learn how to tie a noose. The Tatars are struck with a plague and will soon end the siege. They start catapulting the plague-ridden corpses into the city, surviving 2 nukes. Tsutomu Yamaguchi, USS Nevada. 19th century anthropologists be like, I am here to learn about ethnics. Most countries is animal fights. Oh wow, 2 deers are fighting, this is exciting. Siberians. Hell yeah, boys. Come here, the tigers and bear are throwing paws again. Graffiti on a historical monument or in a historical place. Graffiti on a historical monument or in a historical place, but they are ancient too. Western Roma weebos blaming Turks and Arabians for the collapse of the Eastern Roman Empire. Middle Eastern Roma weebos blaming Germanic ancestors of modern Europeans for the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. Sweden before, Sweden after. 17th century Chinese scholars considering incorporating Catholicism into their belief system. Is Confucius in your heaven? Dominican friars. No. Jesuit priests. Yes. American textbooks during the 17th century. Wow, we discovered this beautiful land. I think I will call this place Jamestown. Meanwhile, Europe around the same time. God Almighty has a quarrel lately with all mankind, and given the reins to the ill spirit to compass the whole earth, Herod Archelaus, Edward VIII, abdicating their thrones to get married and live in exile. Jews never faced persecution by Hindus. Neither are there any records of Hindus facing persecution at the hands of Jews. Hindus. I visit some beehives in Brazil that have weird nets on them. I decide the nets are inhumane and placed by meanies, so I remove them. I have introduced Africanized honeybees to the Americas. Nicknames in the first half of the 20th century. T-Bone, Lead Belly, Blind Boy, Muddy Waters, Blind Lemon, Big Mama, Howlin' Wolf. Nicknames now. Honey, Pumpkin, Sweetie. A federally mandated age of consent of 18. Delaware's age of consent in 1880. So let me get this straight. You are Muslim and you think the Crusades were justified? I do, and I am tired of pretending it is not. It belongs to the Palestinian Arabs since 1920. No, it belongs to Israeli Jews since 1948. It belongs to the Roman citizens of Palestina since 33 BC Tito. Bismarck, successfully forging an authoritarian federal state that prospers under your direction, but collapses into chaos within a generation after your death. Who would win? Fully armored crusaders. A few random peasants with gardening tools. Plow. Devil. This motherfucker. Carthage was Rome's greatest enemy. The Persians. 700 years of near-perpetual conflict. Ended only with the rise of Islam. The Vietnam War was good, and military intervention was justified. The Vietnam War was bad, and it was France's fault. Napoleon planning out battles. Napoleon sending people who want independence to fight other people who want independence. Modern people when they discover Roman settlements in their countries. Ancient people when Romans arrived to establish settlements in their countries. Romanians getting ready to overthrow the government. Colombo. Emperor Alexios V Ducas. There seems to be a misunderstanding here. We are Christian. Norman, Frankish, and Venetian Crusaders. You are Christian. Okay. Well, what kind of Christians are you? Goring fleeing from the Allied forces. Chicago PD when they see Fred Hampton and his pregnant wife asleep in bed. Communist detected on American soil. Lethal force engaged. Protest for peace. Stay in bed all week. John Lennon and Yoko Ono. How Western weebs see samurai. How Japanese peasants saw samurai, making the name Kamehameha famous. The first ruler of a unified Hawaii. Akira Toriyama. If I had a nickel for every time a Brazilian president has died in an aviation accident, I would have 2 nickels. Which is not a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice. Victoria. British and Indians are equal, so that was a fucking lie. The NKVD. Leon Trotsky living his life with Frida Kahlo in Mexico. How Hollywood feels after making a song with an Indian sitar and Armenian duduk with Arabic vocals for a movie set in ancient Egypt.